following video contains spoilers for Castlevania Season 4. Viewer discretion is advised. Hi guys, it's your girl Sweet Tea back at it again, and boy, do we got a doozy this time around, okay? Today, we are going to be talking about Castlevania Season 4, and oh my gosh, y'all, it was so good. I was already a little sad that it was the final season, but this season did not disappoint, period. So many great things happened that we're going to dive into in this video. Real quick though, for those who do not know what Castlevania is about, it is based off of the video game series, and it follows Trevor Belmont, who is the last surviving member of House Belmont. And House Belmont's basically a clan of monster hunters who kill supernatural and otherworldly beings. So the story is really surrounds Trevor as he tries to prevent Dracula from killing all of humanity. During his travels, Trevor teams up with speaker magician Sypha Belnades and the son of Dracula, Adrian Tepes, also known as Alucard. But season 4, guys, wow, like it's been a ride ever since the series started, and honestly, it ended on such a strong note. I really loved how Castlevania tied up all of its loose ends for the most part. The final season, for the most part, did not leave any stone unturned, and most of the characters had a pretty satisfying ending to their character arc. So one thing that I really liked about season 4 of Castlevania is that it really dove into the morality of each of the characters that were presented to us and allow us to see a new perspective to things, to see how the events that took place, in past seasons are affecting these characters now. For example, one human character was Saint Germain, who we last see at the end of season 3 enter the Infinite Corridor so he can reconnect with the woman that he loves. However, seeing how she's not in the last location where he found her, a lot of his character motivations are inspired by his love for her, and we really get to dive into his morality and the lengths that Saint Germain is willing to go in order to reconnect with the woman he loves. And because of his character, we're really able to dive into the aspects and the impact and depth of human greed and what it can do to someone. On the other hand, we also got to explore the morality of the vampires, like I mentioned. In season 3, we were introduced to a quartet of sisters. They're all vampires and they rule over this region called Styria. Carmilla is the queen of Styria. Meanwhile, you have the other 3. So you have Morata, who's the strategist. You have Striga, who's the warrior and fighter. And then you have Lenore, who is the diplomat. So it was really interesting to see in season 4 when they're all separated, and we got to learn more about why their characters took certain actions. For example, why Carmilla was so intent on enslaving all of Europe, or why Lenore was just really concerned about the plan because she is a diplomat, and with wanting to basically enslave all the humans, you don't really need a diplomat for that. And even with the other sisters, you get to really dive into how they perceive war, and how it's just a one-sided fight for the most part. We also got reconnected with Alucard, who went from basically being really depressed and not very trusting of other people because how he's been hurt in the past, to him becoming a hero, protecting humans from the night creatures and vampires, and then him overcoming not being able to let down his guard and not being able to trust. Not only that, but Alucard just has been through a lot. Well, all of the main characters have been through a lot in Castlevania, but Alucard especially, because he had to kill his own dad. That definitely wasn't tough. Like, he had to destroy his own childhood home, deal with the death of his mom, and then kill his dad because it's what his mom would have wanted. Like, you really do feel bad for Alucard. I just wanted to give Alucard a big hug half of the time. Like, it's okay, Alucard, I just want to give you a hug. And then we have Issac. Issac is honestly one of my favorite characters in the entire show. He's honestly the definition of a real ass nigga. So Issac was one of Dracula's former Forge Masters, and the Forge Master, for those who don't know, is basically a human who has the ability to create night creatures. So originally, Issac was going to go on a quest of revenge because he was betrayed along with Dracula. Like, they were betrayed by Carmilla, and Hector got tricked by Carmilla, and Hector is the other Forge Master. So Issac at first was purely going off of rage and revenge and his hatred for humans because he'd been mistreated most of his life by humans, so he hated them. However, as you follow Issac's journey, he does start to meet people who make an impact on him, who show kindness, who allow him to see a different side of humanity. And as a result, Issac just decides, you know what, he wants to be the change he wants to see in the world. So I really love Issac's character arc. It was great. And that fight between him and Carmilla went hard. It was so good. And then of course you have Sypha and Trevor, who are a lovely couple. I love them so much. Sypha, the avatar, out here just bending elements, and I just love how we get to see new dimensions of her character, especially with Trevor's influence and her and Trevor being together. She even cusses, and if she cussed, you know shit is getting real. Then of course you have Trevor. Trevor honestly came around so much since you first saw him in season 1. His growth is tremendous, and I really there's a nice soft spot in my heart for Trevor. I love him so much. He's definitely one of my favorite characters. Him and Issac are definitely my favorite characters in Castlevania. But overall, season 4 was amazing. Let me just say too, like, it had the right amount of action as well. Like, the action was top tier. The fights did not let up, okay? We had so many crazy combos, and then people just pulling out new weapons and tricks. It was just great. The action was just chef's kiss. 10 out of 10. That was great. I think my only complaint with this season is that some characters felt like they got sidelined early, and we didn't really hear from them again after that. For example, we didn't really get to see what Morana and Striga were up to after they returned home and saw that Styria was burning. And then also too, at the very end, you only got to see Hector and Lenore before Lenore kills herself in the sunlight. But we don't really get to check in with Issac and what Issac is up to, you know? Like, that's my guy. I want to see Issac. But overall, great final season. And I was very satisfied with how it ended. And I'm glad it ended the way it did. It seems like lately I just haven't been really satisfied with the way that series have been wrapping up and ending. I mean, I feel like that curse all started with Game of Thrones season 8. And so it was like Castlevania season 4 lifted the curse of bad endings. But overall, my final rating is going to be a 9 out of 10 because it was a great season. I had no complaints for the most part, except for those small other things, those nitpicky things, like it felt like just some characters got dropped off. But other than that, I thoroughly enjoyed this season. It was so good. I'm probably gonna watch it again because of how good it was. And yeah. Thank you guys for watching today's video. If you like what I had to say, make sure you give the video a big thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the bell notification to stay notified for when I upload new videos. Also, follow me on my socials because I would love to hear from you all and talk to you all. And comment down below and let me know, how did you feel about Castlevania season 4? Did you really enjoy this season? Did you really enjoy how the series wrapped up and ended? Let me know. I would love to hear your thoughts. Well, that is all for today's video, and I hope you all have a fantastic and lovely day. Bye bye.